remember that we heard how Paul and some of his friends went on a long journey by boat and over land to tell people about Jesus? Well, today's story is about an adventure they had when they were in a town called Philippi. Here's Paul in red and Silas in blue and some of their friends. They're going to a place where people gathered to pray. As they walked through the city, a young slave girl who could tell fortunes noticed Paul and the other disciples and began to follow them. The girl began to call out after them, "These people are servants of the Most High God, and they can show you how to be saved." This happened for many days. Over and over again the girl would call out, and she was becoming quite a nuisance. Paul recognised that it was an evil spirit that made her behave like this, so he commanded the spirit to leave her. At once the girl was healed, and she stood there quietly in her right mind. The girl worked for some men who made money out of the fortunes she told. Of course, they were very angry when they realised she'd lost all her power to be a fortune teller. The men blamed Paul and Silas for losing them a lot of money. They grabbed hold of them in the marketplace and marched them off to the authorities. They accused them before the city magistrates of causing trouble. The magistrates ordered Paul and Silas to be stripped and beaten. Then they were sent to prison, and the jailer put them in the deepest part of the prison where it was dark and horrible. He chained them up and put their feet between blocks of wood so that they couldn't possibly escape. But Paul and Silas knew that God was looking after them even in prison. At midnight they began to pray and sing praises to God. All the other prisoners heard them. They must have wondered how on earth Paul and Silas could be so happy in a place like that. Suddenly there was a massive earthquake, and the prison was shaken to its foundations. All the doors opened and the chains on all the prisoners fell off. The noise woke up the jailer, who thought he would be killed by the authorities if the prisoners had escaped, so he was about to kill himself. But Paul stopped him. "It's all right, we're all here. Don't harm yourself," he called out. Taking a torch, the jailer went into their cell and fell down on his knees before Paul and Silas. He realised something amazing had happened. He brought Paul and Silas out of the jail and into his own house. Paul told them all about Jesus and how he could become a follower too. The jailer and his wife believed all that Paul told them, and the whole family was baptized to show they now believed in Jesus. Then they all had a meal together. The jailer and his family were filled with joy because they were now Christians, and they gave thanks to God for all that had happened.
That was an amazing story about Paul and Silas, how they were arrested even though they'd done nothing wrong and were put in that dark, deep prison. But they came out and they helped the jailer become a Christian and his family too. They trusted in God at all times and praised him even when they were locked up in the dark. This is a really good story for us to remember if things are going a little bit tough for us and we're not sure. Pray to God and trust him, and he will be with you.